The hallway is silent, and then it isn't. 3 soft pads, a pause, 3 more. You know that sound better than almost any other in your house, and you have probably explained it away a dozen times. Hunger. Restlessness. A cat who simply wants attention at the worst possible hour. But here's what changes everything. That walk your cat makes through the dark, past your door, down to the far corner and back again, is not random movement. It is not a search for food, and it is not about you at all. It is a perimeter check, a deliberate circuit your cat runs every single night, and the moment you understand what that circuit actually is, you will never hear 3 a.m. the same way again. Think about the route for a second. Not where you think she goes, but where she actually goes. The hallway, yes, but also the edge of the rug, the baseboard, the corner where the wall meets the floor, the gap under the door. She does not wander. She traces a line. She moves like someone checking locks, and this is the part that changes everything. Cats are what animal behavior researchers call crepuscular, not nocturnal, not strictly night hunters. Crepuscular means they are wired to be most alert in the dim hours, at dawn and at dusk, the times when their ancestors would have hunted. 3 a.m. sits squarely inside that window. So your cat is not being difficult. She is being ancient. She is running a patrol that her species has run for, longer than houses have existed. A patrol that has nothing to do with the food bowl in the kitchen and everything to do with something you cannot see. If you have ever lain still in the dark, listening to those soft paws stop right outside your door, you know the strange, quiet alertness that follows. Half concern, half curiosity. You hold your breath, waiting. Then the pads move on, and you tell yourself it was nothing. But it was never nothing. It was a job. And the cat doing that job is the same cat that naps in the sunbeam all afternoon, the same cat that looks so thoroughly domesticated you could almost forget where she came from. Let me ask you something. When you pictured your cat's inner world, did you picture a wild animal? Probably not. You pictured a creature of the sofa, of the warm spot on the bed, of the food bowl. And that is exactly the misreading at the heart of everything. The house you live in is not a home to your cat. It is a territory. And a territory, by definition, is something that must be checked. Remember what I said about the route. The baseboards, the corners, the thresholds. Every one of those is a border in your cat's mental map. When she brushes against the door frame, she is not scratching an itch. She is leaving a signal. When she pauses at the junction of 2 hallways, she is reading the air. That mental map is why the patrol never looks idle once you know what it is. Subscribe to keep decoding what your cat is actually doing behind your back, because the next videos trace that route into places you would not think to look. Then tell me in the comments, which border does your cat check first? The baseboard, the threshold, or the corner where 2 hallways meet? Write the word territory if you have caught her mid-inspection. Here's the part most people miss. Your cat's senses operate differently in the dark than yours do. Her whiskers are not just decoration. They are fine instruments that read air currents, telling her whether anything moved in the space ahead before she commits to it. Her eyes are built for low light, pupils opening wide to gather every scrap of illumination. And her ears. Watch her ears during the patrol. They swivel constantly, tracking the small sounds of the house settling, the furnace clicking, the refrigerator humming. She is not anxious. She is gathering data. This is what the patrol actually is. A security sweep. An assessment. Your cat moves through the dark, reading the environment, confirming that nothing has changed, that no intruder has entered, that the territory is exactly as she left it. Now here's what you didn't see. The patrol usually happens once the house goes quiet. During the day, with people moving, lights on, doors opening and closing, your cat can monitor the environment passively, from a comfortable perch. At night, when the activity stops, the responsibility shifts. Someone has to check. And in your cat's mind, that someone is her. Let me ask you something else. Have you ever watched her reach the end of the hallway, pause, and then turn back? Did you assume she was confused, or indecisive, or simply restless? Watch more closely next time. That pause is her deciding the sector is clear. Consider what the home is to a cat. It is not a collection of rooms. It is a network of routes, hiding spots, observation points, and exits. And a network like that has to be walked regularly. The cat who knows the terrain is the cat who survives. You thought she was walking to get somewhere. She is walking to know. Each circuit is a way of reconfirming that the map in her head still matches the territory around her. Here's the thing that might unsettle you a little. When she stops at the threshold of your bedroom door, she is not deciding whether to come in. She is confirming that you are where you should be. In the territory you share, you are a fixed feature. Your presence in your usual place at the usual time is part of what makes the environment predictable and therefore safe. She is not checking on you out of neediness. She is checking on you because you are part of her territory that must be accounted for. Now watch what happens at the end of the patrol. The circuit complete, she returns to a chosen spot, usually somewhere central. She turns once, twice, then settles. The tail curls around her body. The eyes close. That settling is the end of the ritual, and it only happens after the check is done. There is a logic to this that runs deeper than habit. Think about what a cat needs in order to rest safely. The ability to sleep deeply requires knowing that nothing will approach from behind. It requires trust in the perimeter, and the only way to build that trust is to verify it, again and again. Your cat patrols at 3 a.m. so that she can sleep. The movement you hear in the dark is the price of her peace of mind. And yours. This is the inversion at the heart of the behavior. You have probably interpreted the hallway walk as a disturbance, a break in your rest caused by a creature who does not respect your schedule. But the opposite is true. The patrol is how your cat makes the environment safe enough to rest at all. She is not breaking your sleep. She is securing the conditions that make sleep possible, for herself and, in her own way, for you. Think about where she usually settles after the patrol. If it is on your bed or at the foot of the space where you sleep, that is not a coincidence. She is positioning herself inside the territory she has just verified, in the one place she considers safest, which happens to be near you. That settling spot is the conclusion of the whole patrol, and it is not an accident that she brings it to you. Subscribe if you want to keep uncovering the hidden architecture behind what your cat does in the dark. There are more of these rituals coming that will change how you hear every footstep at night. In the comments, tell me where your cat ends her circuit. The answer will not just reveal her territory, it will reveal where you sit inside it. You are not the annoyance she is avoiding. You are the anchor she is guarding. So the next time you hear those soft pads in the dark, you have a choice. You can sigh, roll over, and resent the interruption. Or you can lie still and listen to the circuit, knowing what it is, knowing that the cat walking your hallway is not a pest. She is a guardian, running her rounds. And you, the sleeping human in the protected room, are the one she is watching over. Let me ask you one last thing. If this nightly ritual was running right in front of you the whole time, and you never saw it for what it was, what else has your cat been doing that you simply never noticed? The slow blink from across the room, the way she positions herself near the door before you leave, the spot she chooses when you are upset. The patrol is not the only message she sends. It is just the only one loud enough to wake you. The hallway is dark again, and then the pads stop. Not at your door this time. At the far junction where the two halls meet, your cat sits in the shape of a small sentinel. The low light catches the edge of her eye, a thin gleam that holds for a moment. Then she turns her head, surveys the full length of the corridor one last time, and steps off into the shadow. The circuit is complete. The territory is secure. And somewhere in the warmth of the room, you sleep on, protected by something you never had to ask for. There is a deeper layer here that most owners never reach. It is not enough to know that your cat patrols. The question is what the patrol means about her relationship to you and to the home you share. And that meaning is stranger and more intimate than the word nuisance ever suggested. So consider the threshold again. But this time, think about what a threshold actually is. It is the line between inside and outside, between the known and the unknown. When your cat pauses at that line, she is negotiating a boundary every single night. Her paw hovers. She sniffs the air. She decides. That decision is not random either. The cat who lives entirely indoors has a peculiar problem. Her territory is fixed, finite, and shared with a much larger creature who controls the food, the lights, and the doors. She cannot expand her borders. She cannot chase off the other animals she senses beyond the walls. All she can do is patrol what she has, over and over, to confirm it is still hers. And here is what that means for you. In her territory, you are not the owner. You are the largest and most important feature. The cat does not see the house as something you gave her. She sees it as something you both inhabit, and she has taken responsibility for its security in the hours when you cannot provide it. Now consider the timing once more. The patrol does not happen when you are awake and moving. It happens when the house is still, when the lights are off, when you are at your most vulnerable. That is not an accident. That is the precise moment when a guardian is needed most. This is the part most people miss entirely. Your cat is not patrolling because she is awake and bored. She is patrolling because you are asleep. The duty has fallen to her, and she accepts it without question, night after night, even though you never asked her to, even though you have probably never thanked her. Think about that for a second. A creature who could sleep anywhere in the house chooses to spend a portion of every night walking the borders, checking the corners, confirming the territory is intact, all so that the rest of the night can be spent in rest. That is not restlessness. That is responsibility. There is something almost humbling about it. You have spent years interpreting this behavior as a mild annoyance, a quirk, a cat being difficult at an inconvenient hour. But the animal in your dark hallway has been performing a task that requires attention, memory, and care. She is not wandering. She is working. And the work has a rhythm you can learn to read. Once you know the patrol exists, you stop hearing noise and start hearing structure. The pause at the door, the turn at the junction, the final settling. Each step is a word in a sentence she is writing about the state of her world. You do not need to understand every word, but you can begin to listen. And that is the beginning of seeing your cat as she actually is, rather than as the creature you assumed her to be. So here is where the real question lives. If you have misread this one behavior so completely, this behavior that happens every single night, right in front of you, then what else have you been misreading? The way she sits near you when you are quiet. The way she watches the door before you leave. The way she knows, somehow, when you are about to get up. That question, what else have you misread, is exactly where the next layer of her hidden life begins to open. Subscribe now before you close this video, so that when the next revelation comes, you are no longer watching her from the outside, but learning to read the same signals she has always given you. Tell me in the comments with the word patrol if you now recognize that quiet circuit through your dark hallway, and I will know you have started listening. Those are not random either. They are all part of the same system. The same deep attention she gives to the hallway at 3 a.m. is the attention she gives to you all day long. You are simply not used to being watched that carefully. And yet, the question still stands unanswered. Not the question of what she is doing, but the question of what she is thinking while she does it. When she pauses at the far junction, tail low, ears forward, is she remembering a hunt from a lifetime she never lived? Is she reading a map written in her blood, a map of savannas and forests that her ancestors carried across centuries? You cannot know. That is the honest answer. The cat does not tell you, and the patrol offers only the shape of her attention, never its contents. But you can know this much. She is not a simple creature doing a simple thing. She is a complex mind, running an ancient program in the middle of your modern hallway. Watch her tomorrow night. Not with irritation, and not with the urge to shoo her back to bed. Watch her the way you would watch a guard making rounds, or a scout reading the land. Watch the ears, the whiskers, the pause at the threshold. You will see the patrol for what it is, and you will see her for who she has always been. The last pad of pause fades, the hallway goes still, and in the quiet that follows, you realize the house was never just a building you lived in. It was a territory you were given charge of, without ever knowing someone else was holding the watch. She patrols so that the silence stays uneventful, so that the dark stays empty, so that when she finally curls into the warm curve beside your legs, she can close her eyes with the certainty that nothing crept in while you both slept. That is the whole secret. The patrol is not a mystery of restlessness or hunger. It is a gift of vigilance, delivered nightly in the only language your cat has to protect the creature she has chosen to guard. And the moment you accept that, the sound of 3 a.m. stops being an interruption and becomes what it always was, a reassurance, hers and yours. The soft footsteps are the proof that someone is paying attention when you cannot. And in the final hush of the hallway, as the last footfall fades and the house settles back into its breathing, you understand that you were never alone in the watch at all. You were always its reason. You were always its reason. And that reason is simple in the end. Every night, without ceremony, without being asked, a small creature walks the dark so that you do not have to. The pads stop, the whiskers sweep, the circuit completes. And in that quiet completion, the house is held together by something older than walls, older than doors, older than sleep itself. So the next time the hallway stirs at 3 a.m., do not reach for the light. Do not sigh into the pillow. Just listen, and let the footsteps be what they have always been. The quiet proof that you, in all your sleeping vulnerability, are worth watching over. And that is the last secret the dark has to give you.